Hi everyone, welcome to Voice of Crypto. We're coming in live from Token2049 Singapore, and I have with me a really interesting guest, Frank from Cryptopia. Hi Frank, it's great to have you on our show today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing with Cryptopia?
Yeah, it's really great to be here. Thank you for the interview. So Cryptopia is a game that is fully decentralized, and it's a sustainable Web3 game. So we're not only building a game, but we're also building tooling for other game developers.
Oh.
So we have a way. When I started building Cryptopia, the first thing I identified was that there were a lot of problems with the Web3 games currently out there.
Yeah.
So the first thing, I think the first problem is onboarding. What it is, I created a wallet, putting a multi-signature safe wallet right inside the Unity game engine.
Wow.
So that takes us off external wallets like MetaMask, for example. So you don't have to go, you have to sign a transaction, go out of the game, sign something in MetaMask, and come back into the game. Everything is handled within the game. So the idea is that you download our game client, and that's all the software that you ever need to run the game. Now, another problem is that many games are they're not actually decentralized. So there are games that are run on servers. The only thing that is decentralized is that the NFTs that are kind of added onto the games. So what we do is we created a peer-to-peer mesh network, which is run by players. So first, like you give us your bandwidth, and in exchange, so you handle messages for other players, and in exchange you get a part of the rewards that people are earning in the game.
Yeah.
So that is the most important tooling that we built for Cryptopia. And besides that, our vision is that a game should be free to play. You shouldn't have to do KYC to play a game. It should be easy to play, so the onboarding should be really easy. And actually, the user expects a Web2 experience while still being fully Web3.
Wow.
And that's what we're building. We have a demo running right now.
Yeah.
It's been in the works for 3.5 years. We've kind of been building it in the shadows, and we've just we're coming out there right now.
Absolutely. Isn't bear market the best time to build anyway?
Exactly.
When we talk about decentralized games or play to earn games, one sort of roadblock that we see is the UX UI, and a lot of game developers have been struggling with that. What are you doing differently at Cryptopia that sort of takes that leap in terms of the UX basically?
Yeah. So that I think that the most important tool that we built is the wallet. So the wallet can hold NFTs, it can hold tokens, cryptos, and it's able to publish smart contracts for you to sign any transaction. So what you would traditionally use MetaMask for, which really breaks the game flow, breaks the UX, with our wallet, we can get around that. So the user signs a transaction just by clicking one button, and there's nothing else to it. And I talk to a lot of game developers, a lot of game studios, and when I show them the tech, they go like, "Oh wow, can we use this?" So what we are doing is we're pulling this tech out of the game and putting it in an SDK, so that we also allow other game developers to use the same tech, so that they can also offer this seamless experience to their users and also be fully decentralized without having to rely on any centralized services, because that's actually in our view what Web3 should be about.
Absolutely. So gamers already understand better than rest of us the idea of digital ownership, right? So how do you align how are you planning to align your marketing strategies for this sort of an audience?
Sorry.
If you want, I can just read that. Sure, absolutely, no worries. So, what sort of marketing strategies are you planning for for a crowd like gamers who sort of already understand digital ownership, and yet there has to be a way for you guys to stand out in terms of how you market your product? So, what is in works in terms of marketing, ads? I know you've been working on the product for over 3 years, which is a great. I'm sure it's a great leap. But how are you planning to launch?
Yeah. Okay. So we're doing lots of AMAs. We're doing Twitter Spaces. We're building our community.
Yeah.
And we have major PR events coming up. There's one coming up that is a major PR event, but I'm not allowed to say anything about it because we are under NDA. But behind the scenes, we've been working really hard on PR.
Absolutely. So gamers are generally really excited about digital ownership. How do you see this space sort of transforming? Do you see decentralized games taking over, or do you think that some of the older players in the market are going to sustain Web2 games?
Yeah, I think that there are older games in the market that are going to have to transition to Web3. I think that there's quite a long transition period, but I also think that there's a lot of opportunity for Web3 companies to step in. Personally, I think that this is more of a tooling problem. But I think that Web3 right now in its current state is kind of it's in the geek phase,
Yeah.
where you can compare it to the internet without DNS and without browsers, so early internet where it was only actually for geeks.
Yeah.
And that's where blockchain is right now.
Mm.
You have to deal with addresses, you have to deal with like how you would have to deal with IP addresses if there wouldn't be DNS. So I think that's we're just early stage right now. We need really good tooling. And that's also what Cryptopia is working on. So that's what we're building, and that's what we need to transition into a stage where it becomes mainstream.
Absolutely. Are there any other emerging technologies that you're really excited about or looking forward to, including, let's say, AI, which has been the buzzword for this year?
Yeah, I use AI a lot, and it's very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
It helps me to test code. I'm a developer, of course, so it helps me to test the code in half the time that I used to take. So I'm really excited about it. I embrace AI. So yeah.
Absolutely. Do you have any final words, Frank, before we wrap the interview up?
Yeah, please look at our project. Look at our website, cryptopia.com. And thanks for the interview.
Thank you so much for the interview, and we wish you all the very best with your project, and we hope that our viewers will check it out. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you. All right.